Hi, everybody. Rush Power Windows is the release from 1985, produced by Rush and Peter Collins, not in the studio in Montreal, but instead the manor in England. So they've relocated. And it is almost exactly a year and a half after Grace Under Pressure. Power Windows. 8 songs, 45 minutes, and released on October 15th, 1985. The third album of Stage 3 and the 11th proper Rush studio album overall. Okay, the album cover. In this picture, there's this kid. Let me put it up here like this. There's a kid, and the kid's holding a remote control, sitting in a chair. Looks like he's moving the window up and down with a remote control. There appears to be 3 monitors or TVs behind him, right here and here and here, and some speakers by the TVs. I guess it's a take on new technology at the time, power windows for your car that you could do at the push of the button. Now, the first car that I had with power windows wasn't until 2006 Chevy Silverado I had. So I had to wait over 20 years to get that feature. I didn't even get power windows until I had a truck in 2010. So that was my first. 2010 was the first time. So this is how many? 25 years later. This isn't a concept album, but the running themes here include money, nukes, and just things generally associated with power in your life. And so I think that's where they got power windows from. The line, okay, so the liner. This is a Rush Remasters. I just got it this year. I ordered it on Amazon with a few other Rush CDs that I didn't have. Hold Your Fire, and I should post a picture of that later. But yeah, the liner on the back, it's got the kid with. I think it's the same kid with binoculars, like he's looking at you. So what is he doing here? Is he's about to spy on you, and that's what that is? Okay, and then you got a cool 80s picture of the band. Gaddy, Neil, and Alex on the end there. And you got the lyrics. Now it's black with white font. And it's printed pretty small. With my glasses, I can read it pretty easily. But, you know, I gotta be in the right light. Otherwise, the glare of the glare from the sheen of the glossiness makes it hard to read. But that's the cover here. Oh, who did the cover? Is this a Hugh Sim? I forgot to look. I can't find it. Art direction, Hugh Sim. Okay, yeah. So he does everything. He seems to, at least. He's the all Rush, all-time cover guys. He's done so many of them that I just stopped caring about it, I guess. The Rush Remasters discs, they always look like this. You know, I'm a CD guy, so I do listen to some digital stuff. And then it's got the fingerprints, which indicative that it's a Stage 3. And then on the back, you got the same picture, but you got the songs with the amount of time in the song, okay, the runtime. Peter Collins is the producer. He seems to have taken the sound of the album to the next level after Peter Henderson did one album with the band, Grace Under Pressure. So the sound is similar to Grace Under Pressure, but it's not identical. Generally, the tempos are faster. Not all of them, but generally, I'll say, than Grace Under Pressure. And but the song structures are all dramatically different, okay? And also, it does say in here that Peter Collins had help in arranging the songs, so I think that does make a difference. And the new producer, Peter Collins, adds a tremendous value here to Rush, from Grace to Power Windows. So it's different. I read Neil Peart's quote that says, you know, Rush went from being progressive to not being progressive, and I'm gonna kindly disagree. Even though these are shorter songs and simpler song structure, this is a complicated album. The synths are unrelentless, they're unrelenting, and they really weave in and out masterfully with the lead guitar lines. They're kind of all over. The synths are like, in some spots they're like rhythm, and in some spots they're really co-lead with the guitars. Geddy Lee is playing his regular thumping eighth notes on a lot of the songs. That da 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 da. You know how he does that? Da, da, da. And on some songs, he's got the bass groove thing going on in the style of Chris Squire or Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney's the governor. Okay, it's like a more of a melodic bass or a groovier bass. So he's like kind of switching back and forth on the songs. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's just get right into it. The Big Money is the first track, 5 minutes and 34 seconds. The way the album begins, you think it's going to be Grace Under Pressure Part 2 with the big synth and the guitar line. But at the 28-second mark, it turns into something more fast beat and 80s-ish than Grace Under Pressure. And watch out because the pre-chorus has a time signature change, and it's really tricky. It's kind of jarring. The break in the guitar solo started around 2 minutes and 40 seconds and has some, I would say, Rick Wakeman-ish light keyboard moments. Some big flair going on. This part of the song does sound very Yes-like. And I admit I'm a Yes fan, so I kind of hear things to that filter. The tempo is very fast, even for a Rush song, The Big Money. And the verse is the part, that's when Geddy sings, Big money goes around the world. That's the verse. The rest of the song is pre-chorus, chorus. Okay. The outro is cool with an abrupt change around the 5 minute mark. It's like it's a dramatic change in the song. So The Big Money is a verse, pre-chorus, one chorus, a second verse, a pre-chorus 2, which is different. And then after the pre-chorus 2, it goes right into the instrumental, like a guitar solo part. And then a chorus and a verse. So the second chorus is broken up by the guitar solo. And then a final verse, and then it's out. Okay, that's The Big Money. It's an okay start to the album. Track 2 is The Grand Designs, 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Okay. The intro reminds me of When I See You Smile by Bad English. You know what I mean. Just go listen to it. The complexity of the time signature changes in these songs make it nearly impossible to count. So I didn't try too hard. I tried a little bit. It's in typical Rush, it's a key of D major. I think that's what Geddy likes to sing in. That works for his vocal cords. It's a 12-bar chorus. This song was the hardest ever to count. It's just kind of all over the place. I just couldn't get it. I think it's a 12-bar chorus, okay? Geddy Lee is playing his bass 100 miles per hour, and Alex is also matching him. It's just a really fast tempo song. That's sort of like this album. The synth seems to have the lead lick in the song, but there are plenty of other spaces for Alex to come in and out and share and to add texture. And he's almost like a co-lead. And the Grand Designs is an intro, verse, chorus 1, verse, chorus 2, chorus 1, chorus 2. And so they're kind of extending that thing that they did on the previous album where the choruses aren't always the same lyrics. And it's doing different things. I think that's cool. The third song is Manhattan Project, 5 minutes, 5 seconds. There's a long intro and then just a really long 36-bar verse pre-chorus combo, and then a 16-bar intro to the chorus. And it's not a pre-chorus, then a 16-bar chorus. So it's like it's hard to count, but they've got really clever and creative on what's the verse and chorus and pre-chorus and sort of disguising. The song really bucks the norm for a Rush song structure, I'd say. I like that they still found ways to be innovative in the 80s. That's one way of doing it. This is the song about nukes and or nuclear if you're George W. It's about nukes. And to me, it's either it's probably the best song on the album or it's the second best song, Manhattan Project. Neil writes really good descriptors here like shook the world and shot down the rising sun, which is, I guess, a Japan reference. And chain reaction, he says, and big shots. Okay, so a lot of nuke. And also, there's a reference to the Enola Gay, which I think it's either the name of the jet that dropped the bomb, or it's the name of the bomb. I think it's the name of the jet. I'm, I should, I'm lazy. I should have looked it up, but it's connected to one of the bomb droppings on Japan. Okay, the verse of the song is when Getty's singing "Imagine a world, imagine a man where it all began," and then the chorus is the part that says the Big Bang took and shook the world. Okay, that's the song. So it's verse, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse. And then they sing the verse, chorus, the first verse, chorus, and then the second chorus, and then the song's over. That is the Manhattan Project. The fourth track is Marathon, 6 minutes and 9 seconds. One of the longer tracks. Okay, so Marathon it's either the best song on the album or the second best. To me, it's between the Manhattan Project and Marathon. Neil has written about life as an analogy to running in a marathon. That's what I take out of it. The song has a pretty chorus, pretty for Rush. Rush doesn't have like a lot of beautiful music, but it's for Rush, let's say it's a pretty chorus. And there's a lot of there's cool synth sounds happening in the song, and the bridge seems more than 16 bars, but who knows? It's gotten so complicated to count out a Rush song that I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna give up soon. There's a 24 bar guitar solo after the bridge. So for Rush, that's pretty long. Even like when you consider the longer songs, that's a long one. And so what that means is, okay, there's a 16 bar bridge and then a 24 guitar solo. That means that the bridge and the solo are more than 40 bars, which is it's a huge makeup of this song. At the end of the song, when Getty sings the chorus line, like a streak of lightning that flashes and fades in the summer sky, he's almost doing his mid-70s screaming voice. And that's a departure from these Stage 3 80s albums where he's basically singing, but in this one he's screaming that part. This is pretty rare these days. Marathon is a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. And then it's like a bridge guitar solo, that combo I was talking about. And then the pre-chorus, chorus, pre-chorus, chorus, and then the song ends. That's Marathon. Big song for Rush. Okay, track 5. Territories. Blah, blah, blah. Bleep, bleep. Territories is 6 minutes and 19 seconds. That is the longest track. Okay, what's really sticks out about Territories is the electronic drum kit at the beginning. Other than that, Territories is one of the weaker songs on the album in terms of punch and effect. It just kind of hums along for 6 minutes. However, the content and the meaning behind the lyrics aren't punchless. The first verse, Neil is writing about China, but then later in the song it changes. The second verse is about North America. So here's the second verse. We see so many tribes overrun and undermined, while the invaders dream of lands they left behind. Better people, better food, better beer. Why move around the world when Eden was so near? The bosses get talking so tough. And if that wasn't enough, and if that evil wasn't enough, I botched that line. If that wasn't enough evil enough, why is that so hard for me to read? And if that wasn't evil enough, we get the drunken and passionate pride of the citizens along for the ride. Okay, that's a lot. There's imagery of conquering and colonization in that verse with some religious Christian overtones. I'm not racked with guilt over that kind of tragedy that he's singing about, that Getty's singing about. Even though they are travesties and atrocities, they don't they don't have like a deep impact on me, but I get where he's coming from, and it's definitely, you know what he's singing about, right? Okay, it's a verse chorus verse chorus verse chorus, and that's the song. So it's a spacious song for 6 minutes. Track 6 is Middletown Dreams 5:15. What's unique about this song, it's a song with 2 bridges. The intro to the song has a really herky-jerky stop and start feeling, and lots of big orchestra hits from the keys and a very echoey guitar lines. In fact, there's a lot of echo in general on this album. Seems like a deliberate design aesthetic choice from Rush and Peter Collins. And the echo really fits this song, so it has an impact. Geddy Lee sings in the second verse. Dreams flow across the heartland, feeding on the fires. Dreams transport desires, drive you when you're down. It's a much more uplifting song than Territories, which Territories kind of brings you down, and then this one pops you back up. You're sort of like the Middletown guy thinking about what the future can be like. That's kind of nice. That's kind of warming the heart right there. It's a verse, chorus, verse, bridge, chorus, and then bridge 2, and then chorus, outro. That's the song. Unique that it has 2 bridges. Okay, Emotion Detector is song 7. 5 minutes and 10 seconds. All of these songs have these big, powerful intros with heavy synths, big echoey guitar, and feels really heavy with layers of sounds. Emotion Detector fits the bill and includes the heavy orchestra synth hits. It's all over the song. And then there's this dot 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 dot, like 1 2 3 4, right in the heart of the matter. That's what Geddy's singing. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Right. Okay. This song seems to be about relationships and shared emotions between 2 people. Nothing too specific. I don't know what Neil's going for, but Emotion Detector. Instead of motion detector, it's emotion detector. Okay. Neil's the bomb. It's a verse, chorus, guitar solo, chorus, outro. And then the final track on the album is track 8, Mystic Rhythms, 5:53. The introduction to the song has this dun dun. It's the synth, and those synths at the beginning reminds me of the song Michael Jackson Beat It. If you don't know what I mean, dial up Beat It and listen to the first 2 notes of the song. But it's different. I'm not saying it's the same song, just that it reminds me. In Beat It, it goes dun dun, and in this song, it's got in Mystic Rhythms, it's a much heavier, but it's similar. Okay, just go listen to it. When you hear the introduction, it really changes your mood. It's quite striking from Emotion Detector. There's a lot of that on this album. They're bringing you up and then down and then up and then down. I'm going to say Mystic Rhythms is the 3rd best song on the album. It's hard to determine what Neil's writing about here. Geddy's singing Mystic Rhythms, capture my thoughts, carry them away. Mysteries of night, escape the light of day. Mystic rhythms under the northern lights, our canopy of stars, we feel the push and pull of relentless rhythms from afar. Seems like he's trying to connect the dots between the unknown, what we don't know, the divine, the power of being alive, and what it all means and how everything is all connected together. It's a complicated topic, okay? It's a verse, chorus, and that's Mystic Rhythms. I'll call it, let's say Marathon is the best track, Manhattan Project the 2nd best, Mystic Rhythms the 3rd. After that, you know, I'd have to think about it. But those are the three Sig tracks on the album. Okay, let's summarize quickly. It's a Power Windows. I kind of like it. It's a good follow up to Grace Under Pressure. Seems like they put a lot into making and thinking through this album. The choice for a new producer works. That's Peter Collins. And the album reminds me a bit of Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman Howe from, I'm going to say, is that 89? So it's a few years before ABWH, but at least 4 years. Especially the song Territories, it's really ABWH-ish. Middletown Dreams is ABWH. It's Middletown Dreams. It's bigger and more powerful than the ABWH album. And if you like, yeah, okay. I would imagine that if you like Rush, starting with Permanent Waves, and later, then you really like this album a lot. However, if you're a fan of Stage 1, Stage 2 Rush, then you might find this album a little bit distasteful. I'm sort of in the middle there. Like I'm a late bloomer Rush fan, so I dig the album. It's not as good as Grace Under Pressure. It's better than Fly By Night. It's lower than Caress of Steel. All Rush albums are good albums. This one's sort of in the bottom middle. Okay. Power Windows, solid. Fun to listen to too. All right. Coach Plyo guy.